Welcome back to Pour Into Purpose with Counselor Stewart. I'm so glad you're here. In our last episode, we talked about how small pours can lead to big outcomes, how the little things we do for students every day can grow into something powerful over time. And today, we're taking that conversation a little deeper because students don't grow by themselves. They grow in environments, they grow through relationships, they grow through consistency, they grow when the right people keep showing up. Today's episode is called Together We Grow Building the Village Students Need because student success grows stronger when the village pours in together. And that's really the heart of today's conversation. No one person can carry a child's whole growth journey alone. It takes all of us. The teacher has a role, the parent has a role, the counselor, the administrator, and the community all have a role. And when every part of the village pours in with purpose, students have a stronger chance to grow, thrive, and become who they were meant to be. That's why connection matters. When the village is connected, students don't just see individual people helping them, they feel a circle of support around them. They feel safer, more supported, more seen, and more prepared to succeed. We've all heard the saying, it takes a village to raise a child. But let's be honest, sometimes the village is carrying more than people can see. The teacher is juggling so much. The parent is overwhelmed. The counselor is stretched. The administrator is putting out fires. And the community may want to help, but may not always know how or where to start. And while all of that is happening, the student is still growing. They still need love. They still need structure. They still need correction. They still need encouragement. And they still need somebody to believe in them, even when they are struggling. So when we talk about the village, we can't just mean people around the child. But presence is important, but connections is what makes the difference. A real village is made up of people who are connected around a child, communicating with one another, supporting one another, and working together with purpose. Students don't just need adults nearby. They need adults who are willing to pour in together. If you've been listening for a while, you know I love using growth as a plant metaphor. So let's think about a plant for a moment. A plant needs more than one thing to grow. It needs soil, it needs water, it needs sunlight, space, and nurturing. And our students are the same way. One adult may be the sunlight, another may be the water, another may be the steady soil, and another may be the one who helps pull the weeds when life gets messy. Somebody may encourage them, somebody may correct them, somebody may listen to them, somebody may teach or advocate for them. Somebody may open a door that they didn't even know was there. And sometimes we never know which part of the village made the biggest difference. It could be the teacher who greeted them every morning, the parent who kept trying even when things were hard, the counselor who helped them name what they were feeling, the administrator who gave them another chance, the coach who taught them discipline, the custodian who noticed something was off and took a moment to check in on them, or the mentor who showed up and stayed consistent. That is the village. And when all of those small pours come together, they can create something powerful in a student's life. But building the village is not always easy. Sometimes there are gaps in communication, gaps in support, gaps in understanding, gaps in access to resources. Sometimes everybody is trying, but not always connected. Families may be doing the best they can with limited time, limited resources, and limited support. Educators may be carrying heavy loads and still trying to pour into students from a place that feels empty. Sometimes students come to school with needs that go far beyond academics, and sometimes, without meaning to, adults can end up working in separate corners. The teacher sees one part, the parent sees another part, the counselor sees something else, and the student is just trying to figure out who is safe enough to trust. And when the adults around the child are not connected, the child can feel that. That's why communication matters. Relationships matter. That's why grace matters. Because a strong village is not built on blame, it's built on partnership. It's built on the mindset of we may not have all the answers, but we are going to work together for this child. And that shift right there changes the whole atmosphere. Because when adults stop working in isolation and start working together, the student can feel that too. They feel the support, they feel the consistency, they feel the care. Students need a village that is consistent. They need adults who mean what they say and show up when it matters. They need high expectations, but they also need understanding. Because, yes, we want students to achieve, we want them to behave, and we want them to make good choices. But we also have to remember that growth is a process. Students are still learning how to manage emotions, how to handle disappointment, how to communicate. They are still learning how to believe in themselves. And that means the village has to be patient enough to teach, reteach, redirect, and restore. Not just punish and label and just give up, because some students are not trying to be difficult. They are trying to be heard. They are trying to feel safe. They are trying to figure out, where do they belong? Where do I belong? And sometimes the behavior we see is really a message that says, I need help. I need structure. I need attention. I need connection. I need somebody not to give up on me. And that's where the village comes in. Schools are a part of the village. For many students, school is more than a place where they learn reading and math. School is where they learn how to interact with others, how to socialize, how to handle conflict, how to recover from mistakes, how to lead, how to try again, how to see themselves as capable. And every adult in the building contributes to that. The way we greet students matters. The way we correct them matters. The way we talk about them, talk to them, the way we include their families matter. And speaking of families, families are a powerful part of the village. They need to hear the good, not just the hard stuff. They need to know when their child showed kindness, when their child made progress, when their child had a better day. Those positive pours build trust. And when trust is there, the hard conversations become easier because the family knows you're not just calling to complain about my child, you're calling because you care. Community is also a part of the village. Students need exposure, they need opportunities, they need mentors, they need to see what is possible beyond their current situation. Sometimes one guest speaker, one field trip, one college visit, one career day, or one community partner can plant a seed that grows for years. A student may not always remember a worksheet, but they may remember the person who came in and said, I grew up just like you, and look at what is possible. They may remember being seen. They may remember being encouraged. They may remember feeling like their future was bigger than what they could see in that moment. And that is why the village matters. So, how do we build the village a student needs? We start with intentional connection. We communicate more clearly. We celebrate progress more often. We invite families in with warmth. We listen before we assume. We share resources. We check in on the quiet students, not just the loud ones. We create spaces where students feel safe, connected, and valued. And most importantly, we keep the student at the center. Not adult frustration, not blame, not ego, not I already tried. The student. Because when the village remembers the child at the center, the work becomes more purposeful. It becomes less about proving who is right and more about doing what is right for the student. So I want you to think about this. What part of the village are you? Are you the encourager, the connector, the advocate, the listener, the teacher, the safe space, the one who opens doors, the one who keeps showing up? And where can your village grow stronger? Maybe it's better communication with families. Maybe it's stronger community partnerships. Maybe it's more support for teachers. Maybe it's creating more moments where students feel seen and celebrated. Because building the village is not about being perfect, it's about being intentional. It's about saying we are going to grow together so our students can grow stronger. Every student deserves a village, not just a village that shows up when things are easy, but a village that stays present through hard moments too. A village that corrects with care, that celebrates growth, that builds trust, that creates opportunity. A village that reminds students that they are not growing alone. Because when families, schools, and communities pour in together, students don't just survive, they begin to bloom. So this week, I want you to think about one simple way you can strengthen the village around a student. One call, one conversation, one connection, one positive message, one resource, one moment of encouragement. Because together, we grow. And together, we help students become who they were meant to be. Before you go, make sure you follow or subscribe to Pour Into Purpose with Counselor Stewart so you don't miss next week's episode. And if this message encouraged you, share it with someone in your village. Thank you for joining for another episode of Pour Into Purpose with Counselor Stewart. Until next time, keep planting seeds, keep watering potential, and keep helping students grow. Pour into them with intention because purpose grows from what we give.